The railway station was drowning in noise. Vendors shouting, passengers rushing, children crying, but in the middle of all that chaos lay an old wooden bench no one ever noticed. Except today. Today it held a man who looked like he had no strength left to fight life anymore. His name was Rehan, and the weight on his shoulders felt heavier than the bag beside him. Everything he had built, everything he had worked for, had collapsed in the span of 3 brutal weeks. His shop had burned down, insurance refused compensation, and the people he once helped vanished like footprints washed away by rain. Now, all he had was a ticket to nowhere, a small town where he planned to start over, or maybe disappear quietly from the world that had stopped caring. Bon. But life has a strange way of rewriting stories, often at the very edge of a breaking point. Backhand index pointing right if you believe kindness deserves a place in this world. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Story. It helps more people feel the power of humanity. The train was late, delayed by almost 2 hours. Rian's eyes remained fixed on the ground as the world moved around him. That's when a soft, whimpering sound reached his ears. At first, he ignored it. People cried at stations all the time. But the sound kept returning, trembling, scared, almost begging to be noticed. When he finally looked up, he saw a little girl sitting alone on the cold floor near the bench's edge. She had a small school bag, her clothes dusty, her hair tangled, as if she had been running for a long time. Rian looked around. No adult seemed to be searching for her. No one even noticed she existed. He waited, hoping someone would appear. 10 minutes passed, then 20. The girl hugged her knees and cried silently, trying not to draw attention, something only children used to hardship ever do. Rian felt a pull inside him, something beyond logic, something that reminded him of his younger sister who had cried in the same way when they lost their father years ago. He moved closer and gently asked where her parents were. The girl looked at him with eyes full of fear and exhaustion, and for a moment the entire station seemed to go quiet around Rian. Her name was Noor. She had been separated from her mother during the rush while boarding a bus earlier that day. Fall. Someone pushed, she fell, and by the time she stood up, the bus was already disappearing down the road with her mother still inside it. Noor had been wandering around since morning, hoping someone would help her, but no one did. Rihan looked at the little girl, hungry, scared, lost, and something inside him shifted. All his own pain, failures, losses, they didn't matter now. She needed someone, and he knew exactly what it felt like to need someone who never came. He stood up, bought her water, biscuits, and a warm shawl from a nearby stall. Noor ate slowly at first, then quicker, as though she feared the food would vanish from her hands. When she finished, she looked up with hesitant gratitude, like a child afraid kindness might suddenly disappear. Rian went to an officer on duty and told him about the child, but the officer only shrugged and said cases like this happened every day, and they would look into it later. It was delivered with the casual coldness of someone who had forgotten what compassion was supposed to feel like. Rian felt anger rising, but he didn't argue. Instead, he made a decision. He canceled his ticket. He put his own broken life on pause, and with a determination he hadn't felt in months, he chose not to leave until Noor found her mother. For the next several hours, Rihan walked from booth to booth, platform to platform, speaking to vendors, checking CCTV screens, asking travelers if they had seen a woman searching for her daughter. Noor held his hand tightly, terrified he would disappear like everyone else in her life. But he didn't. He stayed, even when his legs ached, even when hunger clawed at him, even when he had every reason to give up. He kept going. Because some lives are rebuilt not by miracles, but by the choice to help someone else, even when your own world is falling apart. Just before sunset, a station guard rushed toward them, breathless. "The woman is desperately searching for her missing daughter," he said. "She's crying and calling her name everywhere." Those words shot straight through Rian's chest. He grabbed Noor's hand and followed the guard to another platform. Though. There near the ticket counter stood a woman with trembling hands and swollen eyes, calling her daughter's name with a desperation only a mother could feel. "A mom?" Noor whispered, her voice breaking. The woman turned. The world froze for her. And in the next moment she fell to her knees as Noor ran into her arms. Their cries echoed through the station, raw and real, carrying the sound of love broken and restored within seconds. The mother held Noor so tightly as though she feared the child might disappear if she even blinked. She looked up at Rian with tears streaming down her face and whispered a thank you so heartfelt it felt like a blessing. She insisted he come home for dinner, but he gently refused. He didn't want anything in return. He only wanted Noor to be safe. Before leaving, Noor ran to him and gave him her small bead bracelet, the kind children make in school. "So you remember you found me?" she said softly. Rian wore it on his wrist. For the first time in months, he felt hope again, not from money, not from luck, but from kindness. From choosing to help when no one else did. Backhand index pointing right if this story touched your heart. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Story. Your support helps more souls feel the warmth of kindness. Speech balloon before the story ends. Please comment. Kindness lights the dark. And so, under a fading sky and the whistle of a departing train, Rian walked away from the station, not as a man who had lost everything, but as a man who had rediscovered the one thing that can rebuild any broken life: the courage to be kind.